Hello.
Hello, are you there now?
Yeah, I am there. I hope people will get to come in.
Hopefully, hopefully. I can't even blame the guy because it's on me. So,
No, it's an honest error.
yeah, I can't even say, I can't even get angry with him. It's
No,
on me.
no. He has no access to your own code.
uh, all right. Thank you so much for those that are already there. And we're really sorry for this glitch. It's an honest error on the flyer, and we are rectifying it before the next program. Thank you for joining us. And we just want to introduce our program to you if it's your first time of joining us. This is a new season for it. And if you know us, Essence Oasis, apart from the ministry side, we are community champion focusing on neurodivergent family, supporting children and young people with mental health. But I have my wonderful partner with me here, who is a great professional. She's a nutritionist. She will um, talk to you more about her field. But when it comes to the topic we are on, we share a journey together because both of us, we have lived experiences about what we are talking about, that we have children that are on the spectrum as well. So my wonderful friend is the visionary, the CEO of Brain Foods. And if you look at the flyer, so we are partnering with Brain Foods to see this not just from the social side of it, but we are seeing it from the scientific side, not just from the emotional side. We are seeing it from the nutritional side, the health side. So what are those things that is affecting the people that are living through this sort of challenges? Thank you so much. So I'm going to introduce myself first. I will introduce Essence Oasis. Many of us, we know that we are a voice and of advocacy in the community, that we are supporting, and we are also trying to give a voice to those that are living in such a challenging situation. Apart from those going through, we are there for parents, we are there for family, we are a family advocate, but specifically, we bring awareness and support to the area of neurodivergence. What is neurodivergence? Neurodivergence are people that are on the spectrum. Me and you, we are all on the spectrum. But there are people that have more challenges because their ways of thinking or relating is not what they call neurotypical. So what people would say normal, but everyone is normal in their own way. But neurotypical is, well, generally, because it's the majority, that okay, if everybody see this light as white, so maybe about 60% see it as white, 5% see it as not very white, maybe blurry white, another 2% see it as totally green. You understand? Another percent see it as something extremely white. So what will we say? We'll say this 60%, those are the normal way. But the 2% that see it in another color, they are normal in their own world. That's their own normal. You understand? So we consider, that's why we say those that are more having an understanding is the neurotypical, while those that have different ways of seeing things and of relating to things are the neurodivergent. Some of them, it can be very severe, and some can be not can be called mild. So you wouldn't know, but their attitude and the way they relate to things makes it obvious. And if we don't know, we call them difficult. We call them all sorts of names. But the truth of the matter is, we will look into it as you join us, the different uh, areas of neurodiversity. But today we're just taking it generally, what is neurodivergent and what is neurotypical. So the neurotypical is more generalized, the greater percentage of how people think, and then the neurodivergence of how the difference of how people relate to life in general. Thank you. I hope I'm making sense to us.
Yes, you are making sense. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
You have done a wonderful introduction. So
So,
tonight,
and
yeah.
those of you that's maybe on YouTube, on Facebook, if it's your first time of coming across me, my name is Adesuwa, and I work as as a health professional, but more into social and emotional support for families. So I'm also a trauma-informed coach. So my main area is more on psychological and mental health practitioner. So I'm going to be giving, like I said before at the beginning, so my main work in the community, in families, even in my secular work, is actually supporting young people, helping families to navigate different kinds of challenges. And this was bettered from my own personal challenges, you know. So even when I didn't know what I was dealing with, I was willing to learn. So that is what took me back to school, and specifically specialized on childhood and youth, and then family psychology. So that is what I do as my, what's it called? As my normal job, my secular job. So, and this is essentially, it's an organization that do exactly that in the community. I'm going to call on my sister Ijema. She's my partner. We work together in Essence Oasis, and we are so partnering in this particular program with Brain Foods, because she is the mother of Brain Foods.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I am only trying to reach out to people who already had indicated interest, but probably are not able to join us because of the glitch. So we really apologize because the link is actually not the right link. So tonight was supposed to be like a scoping night. A scoping night in the sense that this is something that is bettered out of experience and desire to help. Life throws shades at us from all angles. The fact that what I'm going through is not necessarily what you're going through does not mean everyone is not having their own. So, on our own side, the shade we've been thrown is supporting young girls, children with neurodevelopmental challenges. In this case, the neurodevelopmental challenge are diagnosed to be autism spectrum disorder. We felt that the journey hasn't been easy. There are so many peculiarities that are very, very specific to girls on the spectrum. Let's forget about that stage when they say they always mask it, people don't realize that's not totally true, because all of this depend on the level of the placement on the spectrum where the child is. Some children who, if a child is able to even mask, it means they are not even deeply in the spectrum. There are children who do not even have the concept of masking. They don't even know what is masking. So if a child can even mask, it is a sign that that child is still a little bit functional. But we have seen children whose functionality is so much in need of support that they don't even know what is masking. So when a lot of people talk about girls on the spectrum masking, you should be happy that the girl can even mask. But what really inspired us to go through this is that we have come to realize that there are very many hidden battles that are being fought by parents. But not just all parents. Yes, all parents with all children on the spectrum are fighting huge battle. But when it comes to the girl child, it's usually like 7 times more than when it is boy child. And that is why it hurts me personally. It hurts me that I support families, I support other children. I do this passionately. And should I say fortunately or unfortunately, I see a lot of female children on the autism spectrum, and I see a lot of male children on the autism spectrum. Believe me, I have not published this because I haven't put it up as a research, but believe me that in my practice, I see more male children making progress than female children making progress. And mine is a female child. So a lot of times it looks like you that is a savior, save yourself now, you know. Some people will call you to engage your service, and all they are busy asking you is, how is your own child? How is your child doing? So a lot of times I just try as much as possible to tell parents that, look, every child is different. Every single child is different. But on a very general rule, again, the girls are much more different than the boys. I can categorically say, from what I observe in my practice, that the boys even respond faster to interventions than the girls. And when a girl is on the spectrum, it's usually a lot more, should I say, severe than when it's a boy. The only difference is that sometimes the girls are more, being a girl is still there. There's this factor of not necessarily being aggressive to their parents. But the boys, you can see the boys being aggressive to their parents. But believe me, the struggles with a girl child can be on another level. I remember when my daughter started her menstrual cycle, it was a woman that was selling pull-ups because I had to go online to look for pull-ups to look. I didn't know what to do because she wouldn't wear
But
a pad. It was a woman that was selling pull-ups. I just Googled online and saw I was in Nigeria. It was on Gigi. Up to today, I never met that woman, but she was the one consoling me on the phone. Because when I was making the call to buy the pad, she told me she had adult pull-ups. I just broke down. I cried like I've not cried in a long while. She was just like, I said, I'm buying this for my child with special needs. She was asking me, is it an old woman? I said, she's not old woman, she's a child. I was just devastated. I didn't know. I expected a time like that, but I didn't know it was going to hit me that
it's
hard.
like that. Mhm.
Yes. And that was not even all. The journey started. The journey started in a way that she didn't want to wear the pad. She was irritated by the pad. She didn't just want to wear the pad. So, what would you do if you were a mother to a girl child that just started menstruating. She has no concept of, putting herself together. There's no concept of let me be hygienic and menstruating. All of these things, I feel a bit um like purging out myself
No,
saying
yeah,
all of this.
yeah.
But what I am trying to say here is like that the challenges that parents of a girl child on the spectrum is facing is way out of this league. I will just go ahead and continue narrating my story because I feel vulnerable, but I will say some of the things. So what happened eventually along the line is that if you are a mother of a boy child, you may not understand this. Is that subsequently, out of 4 weeks in a term, my child ends up going to school maybe 1 week or at most 2 weeks. Why? Because 1 week before menstruation, she's already apprehensive. She's uncomfortable. She's already expecting it. She will check her clothes, pull her dress, we have to keep her at home. 1 week during the menstruation, oh my goodness, you don't want to know. Then 1 week after the menstruation, she is still checking. She's still feeling that it will still come out any moment. You know that feeling? She's
Yeah.
still, checking. So at the end of the day, the challenge is like here is autism and here is menstruation alone as a challenge. So when we started talking about these things, we wanted to capture that personal challenge. And there were all these story book about hygiene during menstruation. There's storybook. Well, it might be working for people, but it didn't work for us. So imagine if your child is a girl child on the spectrum. A lot of people may not factor in that challenge of the hormones, the menstruation, the hygiene. And now there was this other period of, apprehension when your child started getting breast. Like, it's like another phase on its own. You hardly sleep. You will want to protect the child. You will want to, we had to put camera all over the house, even in her bedroom. When the child starts knowing their body, when they start knowing their body, oh Jesus, they want to explore, of course. They are
That's it.
humans.
Yeah,
They are humans.
of course.
What do you say? What do you do? How do you cope?
How do you cope in
I
those
mean,
situations?
how do you
Mm,
even begin to tackle this? So
mm.
it's not like we are segregating boys and girls, but believe me, the challenges of a mother raising a girl child with autism, it might not be more, but it is a totally
It's
different
different. Yeah.
picture altogether. And
Mm.
that is why today, as the day marking the World Autism Day, myself and Adesuwa, we are both like lived experience mothers on this channel. And then we felt that if not anything we can do for fellow mothers, we should be able to look them in the face and say, look, I know what you're going through. This is not what people think it is. Everybody may not understand, but we do understand. Why? Because we've been through it, we know it, we live it. So the way you will handle a child on the spectrum that is a boy is quite different from the way you will handle a child on the spectrum that is a girl. So today was actually going to be more like a meet and greet, and then we were hoping that we should be able to tell each other what are our major challenges so that we will somehow use it to
And
map out.
how,
Yes.
what would have been during those time that these challenges were going on? what exactly would have been the support you would have
Yeah,
needed? Yeah.
that you would
Like,
have wanted to be in place.
so what would have been the thing? There's something you said that you broke down, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
what would have been, what would have needed at that moment? What was the kind of support, that, because these are the things we want to deal with, we want to address, because one of the things we are trying to raise awareness, not just awareness, people will get to know we don't need sympathy. It's not about
exactly.
sympathetic, but empathy is very important. Trying to put yourself in another person's shoes to get it, that's okay. You might not know exactly what they're going through, but to
Yes,
be empathetic, that's, I see you.
yes,
So we when we are able to put that voice together, we are able to make a change in our community, in our gatherings. Because sometimes in our religious gathering, sometimes we feel ostracized.
yes,
I
exactly,
call it for the sin you have not committed, because at the end of the day, even if fingers are being pointed, we know that the weight is on the parents, not
exactly.
not because if we look at it, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. Life
It's
happens.
nobody's fault, but you as a parent will always
No,
want
what
to
I
feel
mean is
responsible.
the way it happens, that
Yeah,
a child is in the spectrum is nobody's fault.
of
You
course.
understand? It's not the
Mm-hmm.
father's fault, neither is the mother's fault, not the bloodline fault. Things does happen. You understand? So, but when people don't understand, they make the family feel guilty,
Mm-hmm.
and it can cause a lot of disruption, and it makes you isolate yourself. So these are the things that, and in the government, in the system, we want to be able to actionalize um, changes, you understand, that works for us.
Yes,
Because, like, I'll use UK as an example. The challenges here is when things become difficult, you are being accused of something because they just have to cover their back. You understand?
yeah.
And you are going through a lot emotionally, you're drained. So my question to us is, even if you can't say it, I will want you to write it out. What support when you are in that place whereby you don't know what to do or how to move ahead, as our sister Gemma have just explained, what support would you have wanted at that moment?
You can put it on the chat
We can put
because
it on the chat. We don't have to, or if you feel like expressing yourself, just raise your hands, because here we are talking about lived experiences. If you don't talk about yours, Ijama will just think, you know, she is the only one that is going through, that her own is the biggest. Until I met some of you, I never considered that. I was like, what kind of thing, because
yeah,
in this in the grand scheme of things, mine is more of uh, social anxiety. Do you understand? But
yes,
when there is a meltdown, my goodness, my house, my kitchen, everything can turn upside down within the space of 3 minutes.
yeah.
Within the space of 3 minutes, everything would turn upside down. Everything. There was a space of 3 years. I was not using broken.
Breakable
What's it called?
plates,
Eh?
ceramic plates.
ceramic plates. I was not using ceramic because no matter how, when I'm coming, it's all destroyed. Everything will be destroyed. Cups will be destroyed. So, which is another kind of challenges as well.
Yes.
It's not, and you see, it doesn't happen that way. I go out and this is maybe someone goes into her room without she allowing it. It could just come to a point that the whole house is, and when it starts, I had to personally learn how to de-escalate the situation, because when it starts, and it's not easy. It just it like yeah, I think there was a time when somebody asked me, "How are you?" I just start crying.
I told
Yeah,
you I was crying for asking to buy pad.
yeah, like just like that. I just cry because maybe I just come out of a very difficult situation. Awesome.
Yeah,
So we have someone that said that knowing that you have someone
to talk
to
to.
support you, to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
is an inspiration. So this is what we are trying to build, a support network. Not
Yes.
someone that will judge you, not someone that will think because if you were more strict, or if you were more structured, your child wouldn't have been
Mm-hmm.
doing that. You have to be more. And another thing, when we are talking about this, it is not always the same for one child. It's so individualistic that you will think that because you are able to handle this, you can be able to handle. No, no. So having someone that understands, and having a place where you can be vulnerable without
Yes.
judgment is very important. It's very important. Very important. So thank you so much for that contribution. That's and one thing I always encourage us is that don't be ashamed of it. Never let it be a source of shame. They are wonderful children. God knows why He created them special. I've supported some children that before I met them, the parents struggle to take them out to the
Yes.
community because they are scared that something is going to happen. There's going to be a meltdown or this. Tell them, no, you focus on your child. Forget about any other person. It's very important. I know sometimes in our community is quite challenging, but listen, this is what your path is, do the best job you can
Yes.
with it. You're not going to allow anybody to place a tag or a stigma on you. So if they don't have any understanding and they are too lazy to do research or be open-minded, that's on them, not on you. You understand? So
Yeah.
you continue to focus and pour your love on your child. So when a child is having a meltdown in public place, I don't look around, I focus on the child. And that will take what will take you 3 minutes when you are looking around will take 3 seconds when you
Yes.
focus your child
On the
your
child.
attention on the child. I know people can be very, I won't say wicked, but cruel sometimes, but we will learn to shut our ear and be focused. So I was talking to a young lady. She is now, I'm bringing this in. There's something that Ijama said at the beginning, and it's very heavy, it's very understood, because when your child is on the spectrum and there is more of other challenges, and then sometimes the inability to coordinate, it means that child needs full-time support.
Yeah.
So that's very, very heavy. But there's another set of spectrum that they don't really have any physical challenges.
Yeah.
They are verbal, but they can't relate. And this is where I met this young lady. So it's been a while. She's been suffering it. There was no understanding at the beginning. She has attempted suicide 3 times.
Imagine.
Because she can't, and she's a child to an African mother, an African child.
Yeah.
So she said, Auntie, you know what happened? Anytime I speak, everybody is angry with me. Why? Because she doesn't have filter. And because she's autistic, she doesn't have the social cue like the neurotypical person will have. So she will
Yeah.
say it the way she feels. If she sees something in your mouth, she will say, why is your mouth dirty or whatever.
Yes.
She will say it the way
Just the
she
way she
sees it
sees
or
it. Yeah.
however she's feeling at that moment. But there was no understanding. And this child became very, very ostracized. She was bullied at school. She she had a lot of challenges that it was very, very brutal. But now she's in her 20s. And I met her 2 weeks ago. And she's very happy now. And she will be coming to join us one of these days to talk
Oh.
us through her challenge. But one of the things that really hits me, and that is one of the things we need to work on as mothers, is that when she was coming of age, she was scared to leave because she felt there was no space for her.
Mm.
She felt she's different from everybody. She felt she has not achieved anything because she could not go through school normally like every other child. She could not uh, work with the national curriculum.
Yeah.
So to her was like, what's the use? What's the need? Because everybody else is going, all her mates, they are going to university, and she's just struggling.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, what was it? I know that I had sessions with her at the beginning. I had sessions with her. But one of the things that happens now is that she was able to get the support to go back. She has gone back to uni now. But now there was this support, a pathway where she is within people that are autistic as well.
Okay.
And when she's been overwhelmed or she has sensory overload and she just walk out, nobody's going to judge her that she's been
Lazy or
or she's no. They just know that she has had enough and she's walking out. And that really struck me. Because as parents, these are things we need to be looking into. How do you
we are losing your volume.
really? You can't hear me?
I can hear you now. Better.
Okay. So, did you hear when I said that one of the things that she that have was able to bring her out of her shell was the pathway where the school have been able to set up, and she is now meeting up with other autistic young
Yes.
people.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then and she said when all those friends of hers, they just decided to leave or not talk to anybody, or maybe they were just talking, and this person just decided to just put on their
Your
headphone
headphone.
and
Yes.
just switch off. Nobody's going to say, "What are you doing?" or feel insulted or feel
Yeah.
anyhow. You understand? So,
Yes.
my take here is we as parents, we should start looking into the triggers of our children
Mm.
and how can we help them deal with those triggers without them feeling overwhelmed.
Yes. I think aside the real challenge of being girls on the being on the spectrum, we all know that where we are coming from, it might not be general, but I can talk about where we are coming from. There is a whole lot of expectations on the girl child, just being a girl child. There are already a lot of expectations. And we all know that where there are expectations, there is tend to be more disappointment. And where there is more disappointment, there tends to be more frustration. So a lot of times when we are spending time with our girl child, we will be more frustrated that our girl child is not yet helping us in the kitchen as she should than that the boy child who maybe or maybe not would naturally just be maybe playing with his toy or building his Lego. You understand? We will be
Yeah,
more frustrated that our girl child is not yet getting up in the morning, dressing her bed, and probably changing her underwears than the boy child who would probably still do the same thing, but with less expectation than we place on the girl child. So this is why I believe that this space is very important. Not just important as finding a circle, finding a place of acceptance, but important as a place where we come to learn to release these expectations. We have to learn to start not to work towards achievement, but to work towards it with open mind, knowing and accepting that even though this is my girl child, she has challenges. I have to accept her and work with her and support her to be the best she can be, and not necessarily the best of a girl she can be. You know, you and I know that these two things are different. It's two different things that you are looking forward to your child being the best they can be, and it is different from you looking forward that your daughter should be the best they can be. So these are two things as far as our societies are concerned. Don't forget, this is also capturing the fact that we are BAME, Black African Minority. So we are not removing who we are from the discussion. The discussion is going to capture who we are as our background and originalities, nationalities, and all of that. And it's going to capture the cultural expectations that are placed on the girl child, and also the cultural expectations that are placed on us as mothers of girl children. Because it is one thing to acknowledge that your child has challenges and want to work with that. But it is another thing to make your mother-in-law, your sisters-in-law, your grandmother, your aunties, and all the long arrays of relatives that we keep to acknowledge the same fact. And don't forget that each time you are like, you understanding your child, you now stand like a wall. Don't forget that each time the pressure hits you as a wall, if you are not conscious, you will be hitting your child. Even though you have acknowledged who she is, even though you have acknowledged her challenges, there is always that tendency that when the pressure comes at your back, the first person you are falling, you're transferring the pressure is under your child, because it is still a struggle for you. You are still working on yourself to acknowledge that this child is who she is. I am here trying to support her to be. But it is another thing when you unconsciously is being shrouded in a lot of pressure, in a lot of outside expectations and inquiries and bombardment, and you are like, if not that this is happening, if not for this, who will be talking to me like this? If not for this, will I still be here? If not for this, who is this person to be making inquiries into my life, you know? And believe me, consciously or unconsciously, some of these aggressions will still fall back on our girl child. So, what we intend to do is to create that space where, even if it sounds stupid, even if it sounds crazy, we know, we understand. We should be there for each other. We are creating that space. And one thing I'm going to beg us is that in many of these meetings, I don't know if we can, space it out, not just every week. It would be nice to see our faces. It would be nice to put up our video, whether you did makeup like me or you did not. Just the face is what we want to see. We want to connect. This is not just about saying things and walking away. We want to be a community. We want to build us as a community that would make our voices heard, a community that would change the narratives, a community that will give our children hope that, look, my mother is my best friend. A community where we will learn to support them through thick and thin. And believe me, every stage of their life has these challenges. As I stand here now, I have decided not to be thinking of the next phase. I will always focus on the present phase and deal with it as the days are going by. So this is just me saying, look, we are in this together, and we should be able to, you know, bring our challenges from all round. We should not be very myopic about our challenges. I used to tell Adesuwa sometimes that our challenges have no description. Some of them do not have the adjective you can use to identify them. So don't worry about, this is a place where you don't have to worry about how to explain it. Just say it and we will laugh. We are laughing not at you, but at the fact that we felt the way you are feeling when it was happening to us. This should be a space where we should be able to say things that it will look as if we have our own language, because somebody that is not in what we are passing through will not even understand what we are talking about when we are talking about it. But we will always understand each other. So that is the intention. So believe me, if we have to make this work, all of us will make it work, and it will be in the interest of us. And then those of us who know how to get our voices out there in terms of looking for support, finding ways to make our voice count, we all will be there. And do not feel it doesn't concern me. Even if it's not for your child, let it be for somebody who does not have this opportunity. Don't forget that every freedom we are enjoying today was fought for by someone else that didn't even know us. But they were not doing it for themselves. They are doing it for us who are coming after, who do not even know them, it doesn't even concern them who you are. But they fought it knowing that somebody behind them or around them is going to benefit from it. So let us do this, even if it's not for our immediate children. Let us do it in a way that when others are coming up, they should step into a smoother life. They should step into a life that someone has been able to identify the challenges and been able to, smoothen the path and make certain things right. Because we can't finish saying what our challenges have been. We can't finish saying it this night. Even the school, the authority, the hospitals, in fact, you don't want to know. But this is why we are here. We are here to have our voices heard, to have our concerns addressed, not just for our children, but for even the ones that are not yet born. This is how things are being changed. Policies are being made. I mean, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I just want to thank those that are able to join in. I'm not sure who is on Techno BG6. Is there anything you would like to add before we be rounding off today? Or any question? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Esther.
Any question?
What I may want to suggest is those of us here, if you don't mind, please drop your phone number so we can create the WhatsApp group where we will always be able to encourage each other, ask questions. I'm basically a holistic health practitioner. If there are things in my area I need to show, I need to bring forth on the table to support. If you have questions, you can ask. Please, if you can drop your phone numbers on the chat now, I will just take notes and then we will be in that group and we continue to grow as the days go by, as we continue to bring other parents on board. Okay, 0771 364 2051. That is Esther. Thank you, Esther. Gold PTN Mrs. Edanwen. Mrs. Edanwen.
God bless you, ma.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you.
Please, if
Please,
there's
if there's
anyone now would
anyone
want
now,
to drop their
drop
number
their
so we
number
can
so
just
we
take
can
the
just take the
numbers.
numbers. All right, ma. I'll drop mine at the comment
Okay,
section. Thank you, ma.
all right.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone.
Thank you for coming. I would like us to have some questions because it should be a dynamic session where we talk. We don't want to talk
Interactive.
at you always, and we know we all have, even if it's similar, it's all different as well. So let us make it dynamic. Let us talk about it.
Okay.
Let us, we'll be having our young people as well that can express themselves. But as a parent, let us bring our voices together. If you're not comfortable, like when the group is created, put in your
Thank
thoughts
you.
because we don't just want to, yes, we're going to build a support network, but we also want to take these voices beyond the platform. We want to be able to advocate for our children when they come of age. What are those things? There's something Ijoma said, which in a way, even if I'm from Africa, and because I've left for a long time, I have never really stopped to think of that this could be a challenge. There's some of the challenges that mothers are going through from others that does not really have understanding, the family pressure.
Yeah.
I don't have a direct experience of that. And this is a call for us to create that awareness, to be able to speak about it, and sometimes bring them into those hard conversations. You understand? But I can say that I've had my own experience in some other ways because I remember when I graduated from my course, I had a job as a deputy manager. 3 weeks later, I dropped it because my child could not cope at school. So I had a lot of pressure during that period because there was no support strong enough to help me carry on and then also carry on with the challenges of the child at that moment.
Yeah.
And the school wasn't supportive at all. So we all have those things. And my hope is that we are able to get this together and push it forward. And by the grace of God, our voice will get to the right places. Thank you so much for coming. I think we were supposed to be here for 1 hour. Okay,
Yeah,
we are not
I think
too
we have
far.
made, but yeah, we were delayed. Resuming,
Yeah, we were delayed a bit. Our wonderful mommy Esther, thank you for being there, for staying. And I hope we are pushing this forward. Thank you, Mrs. Edam, all the way from Spain. Thank you for
Thank you,
joining.
ma'am.
I hope you'll be
God bless you,
a
ma.
voice of advocacy.
I will, ma. I will.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ujema, for
Thank you so
that.
You're
much.
welcome. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Good
Have a
evening,
good
Mommy
evening.
Esther.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Madam Edawin.
Bye, ma. God bless you, ma.
Bless
Thank
you
you.
too. Bye.
Bye.